Okay. Um, in the beginning, it says, "Vayishlach Yaakov malachim." He sent. Now, malachim has a dual meaning. It could mean a messenger. It could mean angels, right? So Rashi comes and tells us that malachim mamash. Now, that also could be two malachim could mean an angel. It could be messengers. Why did Rashi clarify and say malachei hasharet, angels from the heavens or something? Why malachim mamash? It's an unusual term. But if we see that what happened with Esav is coming to battle against Yaakov, 400 people with him, right? That's 401 against Yaakov. So that's Yaakov is 1. 4 wives, that's 5. 11 children, that's 16. And then we see that he sent with his servants, each flock he sent, there was another 5. That's 21. That's a fair. 21 against 401. That's close. That's close enough. But these are children of Yaakov. All right. This is not the we'll get to them also. Who these children are. I mean, you're talking about just Levi, Shimon and Levi, right? 2 children, and this is their bar mitzvah parsha, and they're going and they're wiping out a whole city. Not a small city either. A fortified, strong city. 2 little boys. All right. Anyway, but if we take the word mamash, right? Rashi says malachim mamash. Mamash is mem is 40, another mem is 40, shin is 300, so it's 380. Add 380 to Yaakov's 21, you got 401. So now Esav with his 400, Yaakov with his 400. Now it's an even battle. But he hadn't said malachim mamash, actual angels. The Midrash goes in saying when at that night battalions of angels came to Esav. The first one came. You're talking about angels, these giant, it's scary. Said to Esav, "Who are you?" He said, "I am Esav." He said to all the other angels, "Beat them." And they started beating up Esav and all his men. And they left. Another battalion comes. And they say, "Who are you?" It's Esav. He says, he's scared now. He said, "I'm the grandson of Abraham." He started pulling strings. Beat them. And they came and they started beating them again. They left. Another battalion comes, fresh. "Who are you?" "I am the son of Yitzchak, who Avraham, my grandfather, put on a mizbeach for Hashem." Beat him. And they beat him. They were just, all his men already ran away. They're all, then a fourth.
This is before Imad Yaakov?
Yeah. You'll see 1 second the puzzle, because it's really hilarious. Anyway, the fourth one comes and he says, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm Yaakov's brother." This is, if you hadn't said that, there wouldn't be nothing left of you or your men. But because you said that, we're going to let you be. So he realized, Esav, that is not a normal situation. When Yaakov comes later, so Esav asks him, he says to him, Esav says, "Vayomer mi lecha kol hamachane azot." In Lamed Gimel Pasuk Zayin says, who's this whole camps Asher Pagashti that I met, right? Now it could again has a double meaning, but Yaakov, what does Yaakov answer? Limso chen beinecha. I did it to find favor in your eyes. If you want to find favor in Esav's eyes, this is the way to do it. You can't just go and you send these angels and they take care of them. It's I want you to know something interesting. You think it's just then, but it's also now. I was giving a shiur in Chatzor, and one of the participants is from Paras, and he was telling me, I think it was the Yom Kippur War. He was there, and he was overseeing all the prisoners. And one of the prisoners, he spoke Arabic. He came from Persia, and they said to him, says, "How did you do it?" The Arabs are telling to him, "What do you mean?" He said, "We were watching you. We were watching you. I was serving in the Hermon, on top of the Hermon, where you can't go. It's not civilians. You could see everything." He said, "We were watching you. We saw every move you made." And what did we see? We saw these old people, long white beards, with the cloaks, and they're walking around like this. And we started laughing. We said, "We're going to blow these guys out of just walk over them." And then we come here. You're all young guys and guns. How did you do it? This is an Arab prisoner talking to the Jew. Jew didn't know what's going on, right? But then after he said, "Yeah, we have malachim that were protecting us. Ki malachavi tzavelech, Hashem is sending his angels before us." The Arabs, they see it. I don't know what zchut they have to see it, but they get to see it. We don't get to see it. There's two more situations like this. There's a place in Pki'in. Pki'in is right by Ma'alot. I told you this? In Pki'in is by Ma'alot. It is one of the places that was
very high. It was one of the tallest mountains.
No. You're Pki'in is not a mountain.
In Galilee?
Yeah.
No, it's very high. It's one of the highest villages in the country, I think. Outside of it's a Druze village.
No, the Jews' village. Let's go back. Okay, this place had Jewish presence from the time of the Tanaim. There's still a Beit Knesset there standing from the time of the Tanaim, and it was a Jewish village. When the Arabs had did a massacre in Hebron, there was a plan to do the massacre in Pekin as well, and the Jews found out about it and left. Now, one family came back. They said, "We cannot leave this place without Jewish presence because there's always been Jewish presence. We can't leave it not without Jewish presence." And they left it. There was the only family that came back. Then the Arabs moved in. And
Druze, but
I don't know if they're Jews.
Pekin is a Druze village.
Yeah? Near Ma'alot?
Druze. They're Arabs, but they're on our side. I mean,
Yeah.
they're Shia, but they're...
Druze or something like that?
I lived up in the north for a long time. And I've been hiking in Pekin.
So in Pekin, they have also the cave of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, where he stayed for 13 years when he was being sought after by the Romans with his son. And so anyway, this was the only family left. The daughter, she never got married. Her name is Rachel. I can't remember her last name. She never got married because she said, I can't leave this place without, if anybody wants to marry me, it has to live here. I cannot leave this place without Jews. And she's in charge of the keys. If you want to go there, you can get the key from her. She'll give it to you to open the Beit Knesset of the Tanaim. I've gone there also. It's anyway, she says that it happened at the time when the Arabs tried to massacred the massacre they did in Hebron. They wanted the same massacre in Pekin, and they came up the mountain in the middle of the night with their axes and everything else, and they get up sort of towards the top, and they see these big cloaked figures. And they said, "Oh, they put up watchers." So they went down and went on another side, and again they saw these, and then another side. Then they decided, we're going to go to the fourth side, which is through the cemetery. And they walk through the cemetery, and they see a whole row of these cloaked figures with the swords drawn, and the swords burst in flames. And the rabbi in Pekin was looking out his window. He was up at night learning, and he looked out the window, and he saw what happened. Saw these cloaked figures with flaming swords, and the Arabs start throwing down all the weapons and running away. They did not make the massacre that they wanted to make. They thought better of it, right? Now she says that her father told her that his father told him this is what happened. It's like a testimonial, not a nighttime story. We have these angels protecting us, and we don't get to see them. They do. And we have to, our tefillah is what we need to have. That Hashem should send these angels constantly to protect us. That's what Yaakov did now. He's going against Esav. Rashi says he prepared for three different things. One was tefillah, right? One was Doron, sending a gift, trying to bribe him, and the third one was going out to war. This is he had to take all contingencies into effect. The question that arises is that it says there when they tell him that that Esav is there with his 400 men, it says Vayira Yaakov ma'od. Yaakov was extremely scared. Vayetzer lo, and then he started saying the plans. The question is, why was he scared? In Parshat Vayetze, Hashem said to him, V'hinei anochi imach, I am with you. Ushmarticha b'chol asher telech, I'm protecting over you wherever you go. V'hashivoticha el ha'adama hazot, and I'm going to return you to this land. Right? Ki lo e'ezavcha, I'm not going to leave you alone ad asher asiti, until I do it. So what's you afraid of? Hashem promised you that. The question really is last week, after Yaakov wakes up from this vision with the ladder, so he says to Hashem, he says, Im yeh Elokim imadi, if you will be with me, v'shaba'u shmarani, and you will protect me, and etc., etc., etc. I mean, isn't that a little bit chutzpah? God says He's going to do it. Why are you questioning it? And why here are you scared? But Yaakov has a different outlook than we do. Yaakov said, I'll take you through a parable, right? There's we know on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, HaKadosh Baruch Hu declares what everybody's going to get, everything else. It's written on your Rosh Hashanah, signed, sealed, delivered on Yom Kippur, right? On Hashanah Rabbah, whatever. So everybody has their whole year set up. Comes HaKadosh Baruch Hu, calls his angel that's in charge of Parnassah, and he says, listen, go to this guy and give him this. He said, okay, I promised him this on Yom Kippur, I'll give it to him. So he goes there, and the angel comes back, I can't find him. What do you mean you can't find him? Here he is. He says, no. You promised this guy on Yom Kippur. He was all in white. He was fasting. He was like the holiest of holies. That's the guy you promised you're going to give this to. Look at this guy. He's not the same guy. He went back to the way he was before. Hashem says, I promised you're going to give him. Right? The Gemara says that Yaakov was afraid of Shema Yigrom Chet. He said, I'm now leaving my father's house. I'm now leaving yeshiva of Shem Ve'ever. I'm going into house of Lavan. Who knows, is it going to what effect it's going to have on me? Am I going to be the same Yaakov that Hashem said to before, I will be with you? Or will I have changed? And he was scared. I don't know. I need to know. And now I see Esav is coming, and the danger is real. And I don't know if I merit to be that same Yaakov that was promised the time before. More so, he says when he's praying to Hashem, he says Elokei Avi Avraham ve'Elokei Avi Yitzchak. Now, normally when a person's alive, you don't call it Elokei Avi, right? In last week's parsha says Upachad Yitzchak. You won't call him Elokei Avi. Elokei Avi is after the person passes on. So why does it say here Elokei Avi Yitzchak? Because Rivka told him, says, I heard Esav saying that after the days of mourning over Yitzchak, he's going to kill you. Oh no, Esav is now coming to kill me. That means Yitzchak has to be dead. Or he doesn't know. There is no what's up. So he doesn't know what's going on. Right? So therefore he took the initiative to say also the God, even though Yitzchak was still alive. He said the God of Yitzchak. Now he goes, we see also the strategies. When he goes into war, the strategy of Yaakov going to war. All right, I have this battle plan. What am I going to do? I have this total force of 21 people. I'm going to split it into half. Right? And say, if Esav will take one of the camps and destroy them. The other camp will be free. I don't understand the logic behind this. I mean, if Esav could kill half of his troops, right? So he could also kill the other half of his troops. Why is the other half going to be free of Esav?
Yaakov takes his family over the river.
This is the prayer is before that, though. Your question is a tremendous question, because but the Midrash says this, and what I just said, and Rashi I think says it also. Yeah, Rashi says it also. But what's the explanation? Okay, again we're going back to Rivka. Rivka was one of the Neviot. One of the Nevuot she had, right, was that Lama lishkol shnechem b'yom echad. Why should I lose both of you in the same day? It's a nevuah. You're both going to be buried on the same day, which is what happened, right? They both when we get to Bezat, that parsha in Vayechi, maybe we'll get to speak about it. They were buried on the same day. She had that nevuah. So Yaakov says, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the camp into two. I'm going to put a day's journey between one and the other. Now, if Esav kills one camp, right, and I'm going to be in that camp, he's going to have to die. Because Rivka said, the day that I'm going to be killed, he's going to be killed. So if it's a day's journey away, so that camp will survive. You see the strategy here is how to survive even in this situation, right? Using the nevuah. You're right. If I would just try to do this logically, strategically, it doesn't work, right? But nothing works strategically in Israel. Was it West Point? West Point has where they teach all the training, all the whole American Army on how to what?
The officers.
Yeah, but it's training everything on how to battle. They go through all the wars in the world, right? Except for one place. They don't go to the wars in Israel. Said because it's not real. It never can happen. It's not. You can't make a contingency on what happens in Israel because that won't happen in the rest of the world.
They study Yom Kippur and they study the 6-day war.
But they can't learn out any things from it because it cannot happen again. In the Pentagon, they made a computer then, or way back, and they made in the computer they put these all these wars. They put both sides, what they have, what the train is, everything they put in the computers, and they had the computer make simulation. Now, in each war, each side could win once in a while. There's only one war that one side can never win. It's impossible. The computer cannot figure out one scenario where it can win. That's a 6-day war. It's impossible. Talking about just the forces and from all sides and everything happening at the same time in 6 days. Can't happen. It can't happen. So what are you going to learn? What lessons are you going to teach your officers? Okay, you go there and watch what happens when Hashem does this. It doesn't happen. There was I was talking about before what happened to Pekin in the 6-day war. I think it's a 6-day war. There was outside the walls of Jerusalem was a group of our soldiers. I think 6 of them, right? And the Jordanians sent a whole battalion of their elite soldiers, 300 of them. They were a little outnumbered, and it was a surprise, right? And they didn't know what to do. They said, "How many bullets you got left?" They were basically saying their goodbyes, but we said, "We're going down. We're going down fighting." Anyway, they're getting closer and closer and closer, and all of a sudden, they just stop. They just stop, and they start screaming, "Abu Ibrahim, Abu Ibrahim, Avram Avinu." They threw down the guns, and they ran. And they ran. And no one knows what happens, except later, they caught one of these guys, and he says, "You guys didn't see? Avram was standing there. Everybody saw him. We all saw him there. He was standing there on top of these soldiers, back of these soldiers. We weren't going to start up. They started running away. Hashem sent it. Now, go tell your officers in West Point. Okay, you just go there. Wait till Avram shows up, with some angels and knocks him out. Right? It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So the Israeli soldiers testified the Arabs were screaming, Abraham Avinu.
Abu Abram, Abu Ibram.
And the Jordanians testified that...
When we captured some, they testified, yeah, it happened. Yeah. It's a little reaching, but that's what happened, right? And that was in you. I told you one happened in Yerushalayim. I told you what happened in the Golan. These people are telling me this. What I'm telling you is, all right, this one is not secondhand news, but the one that I told you in the Golan was secondhand news. The guy was there. You know, I was giving a shiur, then he was there. He's telling me what happened there. Yeah. All right. They also, just to prove what I was just saying before, getting back to what I said before, what is Yaakov's claim? Katonti mikol chasadim mikol emet. I'm nothing compared to all the goodness that Hashem has given me. So maybe I don't need, I don't have that merit that I should have to be able to succeed against Esav. And that's why he's praying to Hashem. You have to save us. Pen yavo yikani ema banim. She'll go and destroy ema banim. Where you, Hashem, said you're not allowed to kill on the same day a cow with its calf, right? So here also you're not allowed to. How can you allow Esav to do this? It's against the Torah. Okay. Before he gets to Esav, we have the event of he's spending the night engaged in a different kind of a battle, right? With the angel. The angel here is Saro Shel Esav, Esav's messenger. Now the pasuk just says that Vayavek Ish Ibo. There was this man who was fighting with him. How do you know this man is Saro Shel Esav? Why do I say that? Next week is going to be next week. In next week? Yaakov sends Yosef to find his brothers, and he says Vayimitzeyu Ish. He finds a man. It just says man, and Rashi says that's Gavriel. So 1 second. Here it says Ish. That's Saro Shel Esav. Here it says Ish. It's Gavriel. It's the same Ish, right? So he says, yeah, but it depends on the situation. The Ish by what did Yaakov ask from the Ish here when he was fighting with him all night? What did he ask from him?
Bracha.
A bracha. He wants a bracha. We'll get to the name in a second. He wanted to get a bracha from him, and he won't give it. You won't even give a bracha? That's Saro Shel Esav, right? But by Yosef, he says the angel says, well, how can I help you? Oh, how can you help me? That's Gavriel. As you look at what the what is the angel doing at the time, and then you can see how which angel it is through his actions. Anyway, they're fighting all night. All right. They get to morning. He says, "Let me go. It's morning." It's a big deal. It's because it's morning. The war's over. I have you by the throat. Go, I'm not letting you go. He says, you don't understand. Alota Shachar, I'm an angel. I have to sing Shira now. It's my turn. Today is my turn to sing Shira with my angels. So he says, so you miss a day. What's the big deal? He says, no, you don't understand. If I miss a day now, tomorrow, when we're going to be singing, my angels say, you weren't here yesterday. You're not going to be with us anymore. I can no longer be part of my group. I need to sing now. And the Midrash goes in where he started singing. And the other angels of Shemayim started singing with him. The whole world was going, and Yaakov was very pleased listening to it, but he wasn't going to let go. Right? He's not going to let go. And this angel is still not going to give in so fast. Okay, so he said, so he said, I'm not going to let you go to give me a bracha. Okay, so he says, oh, what's your name? The angel says, asks him, what's your name? Right? So he says, Yaakov. So he says, okay, your name is Yaakov, but Hashem is going to change it later to Yisrael. I'm giving you that information now. But in essence, we have to know one thing. A name is not just a title. A name is the essence of a person. When parents give a name to a child, there's Ruach HaKodesh in that event. And the Ruach HaKodesh tells what the name is going to be, because that's who the child is. That's what he's going to grow up into. The tragedy is where people give names of Rishayim to children, and then they're growing up with these characteristics, and the thing they have to do is really, in that situation, change their names. You find in the Gemara, Mishnah, Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel, Tanya, Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha, Amar Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha. You have Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva, they are contemporaries. You have Rabbi Shmuel, but Rabbi Shmuel's name was given by God. God gave the name of Yishmael to Yishmael, right? And Yishmael did tshuva. So it's not like Nimrod, right? Nimrod is a Russia, and Nimrod is a name that if a person is given the name Nimrod, he should run to change it. All right, but here he asks, what is your essence? And he says, okay, your essence is changed. You changed from a Yaakov to Israel. Yaakov goes back to him and says, what's your essence? Who are you? Right? Now, what the answer is very, very, very strange. He says, "Vayomer, Yishal Yaakov, Vayomer, Hagida na shmecha." Yaakov says, "Tell me your name, please." Vayomer, and the answer says, "Lama ze tishal lishmi." What are you asking for my name for? Vayivarech oto sham, and he gave him the brachos. Then these are the brachot that he got from Yitzchak.
Like to fully implement them.
No. Esav he still wants the brachot.
Yeah.
He says, I don't need your brachot. I got it from Yitzchak. I want you to ratify that the brachot I got from Yaakov was not by trickery, not by stealing. They are mine. And I want you to accept that. I want you to transfer those brachot that I got rightfully are mine. I want you to agree to that also. And that's the bracha you gave. But what's this answer? Lama zeh tish'al lishmi. What are you asking my name for? Right? The thing is, if the name is essence, what is the essence of the Satan? Don't ask. Don't ask any questions. I'm going to do something. Don't ask why. Just do what I tell you to do. Because you start asking, you're not going to do it. Right? That's what the Satan does to us. He says, go, do. No. If you start asking, you say,
Open the door.
Yeah, you're just letting him in. Here you have to say that. So the Satan is constantly saying, "Don't ask, just do it. It's good for you. You'll enjoy it." Right?
But that's really a stuff like in Christianity. Really, don't ask, because I was in this world.
Right.
It's forbidden to ask questions. Like.
Well, yeah, but that's not Am Yisrael.
I'm Yisrael's questions.
I have to ask. Yeah.
For the children.
Right. Everything is questions. Right.
So here is Satan. It is like the
Sarol Shel Esav is Satan also. Here is something very interesting. In Gush Etzion, there was a situation where there was a war, and I don't remember which war, and then there was out of the casualties, there were 12 bodies that were not identified. Now they had a roster of all the people who were there, so they had 12 people missing, 12 bodies. So they wanted to make what's called kever achim, make one grave and say these 12 people are buried here. Rav Aryeh Levine says you can't do that. You can't do that. Everybody has to have his own grave. So, but how are we going to know? So we have this thing called Goral Hagra. Goral Hagra, by the way, this lady in Peki'in, she knows how to do it. This Rachel, she knows how to do Goral Hagra. Her father taught her. Goral Hagra is you take a Tanakh, right? You ask a question, and then you open it up, and then you turn 7 pages, go down 7 lines. I don't know how to do it, all right? And then the answer will be in that pasuk. All right, so they get to the first body, open up the thing, said, Vayomer Shmuel. Is there Shmuel on the list? Yeah, he's Shmuel. Second, third, fourth, you get, everyone hits, a pasuk has a name in it, every single pasuk. Now they get to the last one. One name, one body, we don't need to do it anymore. So Rav Ari Levin says, no, we still have to do it because we have to show everybody that this is real, right? Till the last one. This is Min HaShamayim. So we have to do it again. So the last person's name was Yaakov, and they did the Goral Agra, and they opened up to this pasuk. They said, Vayishal Yaakov. Okay, he's Yaakov. But what's the continuation of the pasuk? Lama zeh tishal lishmi. What are you asking the name for? You know the name. He's the only one left, right? They just happen to open up to the right name at the right place at the right time. It's to get to it. Okay. It's going to get to we find in Megillat Esther that it says Mordechai lo yichre v'lo yishtachave. Mordechai would not bow down to Haman, right? Haman would tell him, says, you Jews already, your forefathers bow down to my forefathers. I am from Amalek, who is from Esav, and you are from Yaakov, and you and your whole family bow down to Esav. So you, Mordechai, should bow down to me. So Mordechai says, yeah, but I'm from Binyamin. Binyamin wasn't born yet. Mordechai lo yichrev v'lo yishtachave. I'm not going to be the one to bow down to you, right? Because Binyamin didn't bow down to you. Who else did not bow down to Esav in Yaakov's entourage? Somebody else who was already born did not bow down to Esav.
One of the sons?
Dinah, very good. The daughter. Dinah, where was she? Why didn't she bow down? What? So Yaakov was afraid Esav's going to want to take Dinah, right? And he didn't want Dinah to be married to Esav. And he hid him in a box, right? In a trunk. And so she didn't get to bow down to Esav either. However, we see the right after this is the what happened to Dinah in Shechem, right? This is a punishment for that. Hashem said to Yaakov, look, you can't decide what's going to be. It could be if Esav would marry Dinah, she might have an effect on him. He might have done tshuva. You closed that door for him, right? You should have left it open. That's a big wow. See, there's a Gemara talking about a king, Chizkiyahu, and the Navi said to him, "You're going to die." So he said, "Why? What did I do? I'm a tzaddik." Tzidki, I don't remember. Tzidki or Chizkiyahu? Chizkiyahu. So he said, because you are not having children. He says, yeah, but I saw already in Ruach HaKodesh that I'm going to have a descendant, Menashe, who's going to be antagonistic to Hashem. And the Navi said, that's not your call. Hashem put you on this world to have children. So you're going to have the children. And if Menashe has to come out from that, that's what's going to have to be. But you don't have the right not to have children. So he goes to the Navi and says, look, I'm a tzaddik. You're a tzaddik. You have a daughter. Let me have your daughter. Right? Maybe with the zchut of both of us, we could cancel the gzeira of having this Menashe. So the Navi says, but the gzeira has already been decreed. So he said, take your navuas out of here. Kach bukublani mi beit avi. This is what I got from my David HaMelech. Afilu cherv chadam munachat atzavarecha, al tetyesh mipanut. Even if there's a sharp sword on your throat, don't give up. There's still salvation. Don't say it's already been decreed. There's no such thing as been decreed. We could break the decree. Right? All right, they married him, it didn't help. It's been decreed. But we see that what?
You have to try.
You have to try. And the same situation. Give me your daughter. Let's us have children. Maybe through that we'll become tzaddikim. It's interesting. Rashi says that Yaakov was afraid. He says afraid that he might be killed, and he was afraid Shema Yarog Acherim. He might kill others. Now Acherim, there's a person in the Gemara known as Acherim.
Acherim?
Acherim. Acher,
With others.
Acher is Elisha ben Avuya.
Yes, Acher.
Acher, and they don't want to say his name, so they call him Acher. Acherim is a student of his, Rabbi Meir.
Rabbi Meir from Rabbi Akiva?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So Rabbi Meir was a student, and he knows Rabbi Akiva and Elisha ben Avuya were contemporaries. They went to the Pardes together. We're talking about the tremendous Gedolim. The fact that he got hurt in that Pardes and made him Acher, but he still had the whole Torah. And Rabbi Meir says, I got to save whatever Torah I can from him. And he learned from him. And that's why the Gemara calls him Acherim. Now, Rabbi Meir is a descendant from Esav, right? He converted from I don't remember who.
His grandfather.
What?
His grandfather converted.
Yeah, who is it? Not Sancherib.
Shammai Aftayon from Sencheret.
Yeah, he's not. He's somebody else. But it's another one of these groups that were from the Romans. Where the Romans are from Esav. He converted, so he said, "If I kill Esav, I'm killing Acherim." Acherim is Rabbi Meir. He won't ever be born. So he said, "I'm worried if he kills me, or if I will kill Acherim." That guy. So he was worried.
It's a continuation of the story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. And then there's like a king there who wanted to destroy Jerusalem, and he converted, and one of the descendants is Rabbi Meir.
Right.
Hey! Hello!
Welcome back.
Baruch haba. Anyway, Yaakov comes and meets Esav, and Esav gets up. Vayaratz Esav likvato. Esav runs to Yaakov. Vayipol atzavarav vayishakehu, and he kissed him. Now, on this word vayishakehu, there are these dots in the Sefer Torah. The Chumashim probably, not all Chumashim have it, but in the Sefer Torah, it's in Pasuk Dalid, Lamed Gimel, Pasuk Dalid. So he says there's dots on each word.
Yeah.
Right? In the Sefer Torah, that's how it's written. Excuse me. What?
6 dogs. Yeah.
Right? And it says Vayivku. And he cried. Now Rashi goes in very interesting. It says there's machloket here. One thing is that one thing is the dots are telling us Shelo nishko b'chol libo. He didn't kiss him with his whole heart. It was like an external thing, right? He just he did it to show because he was afraid.
Crocodile tears.
What?
Crocodile tears. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get to a different thing. Amar Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, right? Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai says, halacha hi. This is the law. This is the halacha hi biyadua she'esav sonei et Yaakov. Esav hates Yaakov. That's the nature of Esav. That's the law in the Zohar, right? Ela shenichmu rachmav me'ota sha'a v'nashko b'chol libo. Said, but he was so moved that he actually kissed him that one time with his whole heart. And that's why the dots are there to show his divi. Now, the Baal HaTurim says that he really wanted to do his vayishachehu. He wanted to bite him. And when he went to bite, he said, when I'm going to kill Yaakov, I'm not going to kill him by the sword. I'm going to kill him with my hands and teeth. I'm going to destroy him. That's what Esav was, I'm going to do to him. Now Esav comes and he's going to bite Yaakov on the neck, and Hashem makes his neck into marble, right? What happens to Esav's teeth? Broken. So that's the dots. His teeth break, vayivku, and then he starts crying. Whoa, I started up with the wrong guy. Ab Kshei Oref, the stiff-necked people. Yeah.
There's famous Tehillim, right, who say like, we break the teeth of the Rasha.
Shinei Rishaim Shibarta.
Is this a collusion with this?
That's the Chazal refers to that to Og. Og Melech Bashan. But it doesn't mean it's exclusive. I mean, it's the Gemara uses that pasuk for that, but it could be used for this as well.
There's obviously a connection with the thief and wickedness, like save us from the thief, from the wicked, and
the
thief.
Yeah.
And now Esau, that he want to kill with the thief.
Right. He wanted to bite him. wanted to bite him. Vayishakeu. It's very close.
Serpent.
Well, that was a chet. I was thinking of the chaf of ninshoch. Ninshoch is to bite. I didn't think of with the chet that it's a snake.
It's a chet.
It's a kuf. Vayishakeu. It's a kuf.
But
But a kuf and a chaf are not far away. He says he wanted to. What does he say here? Let me see.
it's like Vilam here.
The Baal Tum says Vayishakehu b'gematria ulinoshchehu. Says it's the same gba. He came to bite him, right? And it happened, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out. It didn't work out for him.
The dots. Why do they have the dots?
So to teach you, this is either to teach you that it was not real. He didn't really kiss him properly with his whole heart, or Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says it was actually the one time it was actually real. And he's trying to tell you it's not the normal kind of the normal kind of kissing, right? A normal kind of kissing with the Esav has different things. But here, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says he kissed with his whole heart. Those are the arguments that says no, he's Esav. He didn't kiss with his whole heart. And the Pasuk is trying to tell you that he kissed, but not fully. There's the dots. According to Baal Turim, he tried to bite him. So he doesn't say that. He just, but he tried to bite him. And those little dots are his teeth.
What's left of his teeth?
What's left? No, Okay.
But also in Daniel, right? Daniel, they speak about the last beast, the last animal, the fourth empire.
Yeah.
It's also in Edom, right?
Right.
And it talk also a connection with his teeth, his iron teeth.
I don't know. Wait.
In the Sefer Daniel, it talks about the last.
It says it's talking about not teeth. There, it's talking about a horn. No.
Yes, gam horen, because you have there's one beast. They have different horns.
Right.
But also talk about his teeth and he's eating.
It could be. I don't know. I'm not familiar. Okay. All right. All right. We'll end with this. Gets a Shechem, right? This is the Bar Mitzvah Parsha of Shimon and Levi. Because it's a problem. Shimon and Levi, you can't just go in and kill people. It's one of the 7 mitzvot b'nei Noach, right? And now you made it worse. You had them do a brit milah, and then you kill them, right? It's like saying, okay, if anybody who converts gets killed. It's you can always answer, well, they wanted, if they would have killed goyim, so the world would have gone crazy. Here they made him Jewish, killed him. Everybody says okay, but the question is still what's going on. In actuality, even though we don't see it, in actuality, they did the brit, but they were ready. They were getting ready to do battle against Yaakov and his family again, because
strategy. It wasn't a real.
What?
They were still going to rob and rape.
Well, the strategy was we're going to absorb them. We're going to get all their money, all the women, everything else. We're going to absorb them, and we're going to have the greatness of Yaakov in our lives, right? But after they did the brit and their suffering, there was one of the people that didn't do it was Yafiach, and he said, you guys are crazy. For one girl, look what you're doing. You mutilated yourselves, and now look at your whole. What did you do? Just for a girl? You're kings. You have a whole empire, and this is what you did. So, you're right. We'll get better, and we're going to go against Yaakov. Now Dinah was there. She overheard this. She sent a messenger to Yaakov's house, and Reuben and Shimon and Levi said, "We got to do something. We're not going to wait till they come and battle us." And then they went. Now's the time. So they went. But the drasha that they had. There's a drasha that is like this. There's the Chazal say, Goy sheshavat chayav mita. If a goy keeps Shabbos, right, is a death penalty. All right? Why? I want to keep Shabbos. You could rest. You could do whatever you want. But keeping Shabbos is oti. It's a sign, beini ubein b'nei Israel, between me and b'nei Israel. You don't take that sign away between us. This is a covenant between us. Now, there are 3 signs that we have between Am Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One is Shabbat. One is Brit Milah. One is Tefillin. So each one of these are called ot. They're a sign. Now, every day we have to have 2 otot. So every day we have a Brit. Okay? So on Shabbat, we have Shabbat. I can't add to Shabbat another ot. So if I put on tefillin on Shabbat, so it's according to the Zohar, Yechayev Mita. It's a death penalty. If a Jew puts on tefillin on Shabbat, it's a death penalty. You can't add another ot to it. So here they made a drasha. It says, okay, these people, they did a Brit Milah, which is an ot, but they didn't have intention to be Jewish. So there's a goy that's taking an oath for themselves. So it's the same thing as a goy that's kept Shabbos. It's chayiv mita. So therefore they came in and carried out the law. Right? This is the bar mitzvah drasha there. You talk about 2 little kids, 13 years old, right? It's we have to understand the children of Yaakov at 13 years old, they are fearful warriors, because after this happened, the nations of Emori came against, the Midrash says, they came against Yaakov. They said, look, 2 of his sons wiped out a whole city, right? When they all get together, they're going to take over everything. And they went against war. There was the first 6-day war. The Midrash says they battled for 6 days. And then the 7th day, the enemy just couldn't handle them. They said, let's make peace. Which is what happened in the 6-day war also. It's exactly what happened. We had a 6-day war. That they said, we can't do it anymore. Make them stop. All the Arabs make the Jews stop. All right, that's the way they acted then and they act now. It's the same. It's always the same thing. But we did, because Yaakov with the children, with the tefillot, because he sent to Yitzchak. He says, Yitzchak, they're coming against us. All the nations, we need your tefillot. So the tefillah of Yitzchak and the tefillah of Yaakov, together with everybody else, and what they did, they were able to hold back everybody.
On the road to Bethel?
No, they were there by Sukkot, in the places of Sukkot. They came to them by Shechem. It's by Shechem, right? Where they were then at that time. So they were. You have to understand, the children of Yaakov are not children as we see children, right? And once they're at this point where they're bar mitzvah, so it's already. Now I am a man. Yeah, now I am a man. All right, and then Yaakov Shalem. He came there. Yaakov was injured by the angel. Hashem said to the angel while Yaakov was still holding him, he said, "You think you did a nice thing by hurting my Kohen? You made my Kohen into a Balmum." So he said, "What do you mean? I'm your Kohen. You're my Kohen in Shemayim. He's my Kohen on the earth, and you made him into a Balmum." So he said, he called Raphael. He said, help me, come help me. The Hashem is upset. And Raphael healed him. Another midrash says that when the sun came out, right? When the sun came up, he went. The sun has healing properties. When the Gemara in Bava Batra says that Hashem blessed Avraham Bakol. Says, what's Bakol? So a whole quarter of a page of what Bakol could mean. And it's all of them. One of them is that Hashem gave Avraham this stone, a special stone that had healing properties. And anybody who was any problem would come with him, and the stone would heal him. When Avram died, Hashem took this stone and put it onto the sun. So therefore the sun has healing properties also, from the stone that Hashem gave to Avram. So when the sun came up and on Yaakov, after he's been injured, he was healed. And that's why it says, Vayavo Yaakov Shalem Ir Shechem. So Yaakov came complete, whole. He back to the way he was before, not a Balmum. He wasn't afflicted by that. Okay, we'll stop here.